anyone know what fixed foveated rendering does in the toolkit at all?
Nope. Foveated rendering.
Yeah. This is in the OpenXR toolkit.
It's got to be something to do with the efficiencies around doing stereoscopic projection, hasn't it?
I just turned it on. It didn't seem to make any difference.
Okay, I'm going to do the talky bit that I usually do at the start of the flight. So welcome to the group flight with VirtualFlight.Online. If you've not done this before, it's very relaxed. We fly a route together, trying to average about 120 knots usually, which makes us get to the destination in about 2 hours, or underneath 2 hours. So we will stop at the halfway airport, which tonight is going to be Villaframil, Lima Echo, Victor Foxtrot. The notes for the flight, if you're curious, were in the events channel, in a thread for the flight. The only real rule if you're taking part on the voice chat is to keep the conversation family friendly. But otherwise, just have fun. It's a group flight, so please try to stay with the group. If you do get massively ahead, then just fly a circuit at the next airfield, or fly an orbit, on the way, to let the group catch up with you. Other than that, yeah. Off we go. So the first leg this evening is 24 nautical miles, 5 degrees to Alvedro Airport, Lima Echo, Charlie Oscar. So basically north, 24 miles. I'm going to watch the aircraft taking off. And if you haven't got your nav lights on already, if you turn them on, it looks very, very nice without labels on, just following the nav lights. If you have it set for either early morning or early evening, it looks very, very good.
Got a very strange thing. So a very strange thing in front of me. I've got nav lights, but no plane. Weird.
Sorry, Ellis, you were going to say something?
Yeah, for doing the flight in the airline, Jonathan, don't turn our engines off at the stop.
Oh yeah, it's a good point. If you're using ACARS and recording the flight, yeah, don't turn... Actually, I think it will be fine, as long as you just don't end the flight at any point. I think ACARS will keep ticking over. It will give you the opportunity to end it, but yeah, the easiest way is just to leave the engine running at the Midway airfield.
Won't take me long to get a coffee, if there is a coffee shop there.
You and your coffee shops.
Okay, I'm heading north.
I've got some Baileys for your coffee if you want a little top off.
That goes down well, doesn't it?
So the first part of this flight is quite flat across the countryside, but it gets quite hilly towards the end as we get further into the mountains. We'll be climbing and descending several thousand feet into and out of each airport towards the end.
Can I have a radio check again, please?
Yep, we can hear you.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
There's a lot of aeroplanes on the map. I wouldn't like to be a controller. So did anybody see the news about the aeroplane that went off the end of the runway yesterday?
Yes.
I put a picture of it on the Facebook page.
On pushback?
I'm not sure how it happened. No, I think it just went ploughing off the end of the runway, didn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I saw a different one where they pushed it back and it just pushed back a little bit too far into the grass, but the grass was all wet and soggy, and it was like an airliner, I think, too. And it just got stuck and they had to basically pull it out.
Oh,
it
no,
was
this
thirsty, wanted a drink.
No, this was much more serious. It was like at speed into the dirt at the end of the runway. It overshot.
Cargo.
Yeah.
In VR, what do you think the lowest acceptable frame rate per second would be?
That's a good question.
I think I've seen people say 45, especially if it's doubling up, effectively giving you 90 across both eyes.
I think it depends on if you use VR or not. doesn't it?
Well, that's what we were saying, if you are using VR.
Well, at the moment I'm going 38 with this DLSS thing, and it's really smooth, it's really good. And I've discovered that if you put this fixed foveated rendering on through the toolkit, you get an extra 3 frames per second.
Take every frame I can get.
Does anybody seen the stats on the NVIDIA 40 series cards?
Yeah, they're just beginning to come out, aren't they, these stats?
I think
Yeah.
I think the price is more interesting.
Well, yeah, but that will come
Yeah.
down. It's
Well, I'm
interesting,
wondering-
though, that they have effectively more than doubled the frame rate using Flight Sim as the benchmark.
Yeah, I'm thinking the 3090 cards will get quite cheap once the
They will.
400 series come out.
But they were saying the 4090 card, if you were getting sort of 50 frames a second with the 3090, with the 4090 you'll be getting well over 100.
Well, maybe the hardware has finally caught up with the software.
Yeah.
You know,
Hi Lyndon, how you doing?
Oh, good.
and,
Just catching you up.
So should I expect an F-15 any moment?
Caravan.
Oh, rocket pad caravan.
You won't be flying that upside down then.
Why not?
are you flying tonight, Lee?
A Kodiak, James.
Oh, that was posh, James.
That's what I'm flying.
Have a look at my my live screen. It's great livery.
Ah, that is very cool. I like it.
Very good.
Not bad.
They haven't seen my landings yet.
So how far away are we from...
Multiple streams feature in Discord. I got this window up there with everybody's blocks, and there's like 5 streams there.
It's mad, isn't it? So we're about halfway to is it El Vedro? How do you pronounce these names? Who has been to Spain and knows these names?
Oh, me.
So A is the port, but
Well,
There's a few pylons around, Dave.
I landed on the last airport, Asturias.
yes. Interesting. I was just looking at the map.
Flying over this lake here so that I can line up the runway a little bit. Looks pretty cool.
I was looking at the map before we took off. The last airfield is just north of Oviedo, which I think is where Fernando Alonso is from. I seem to remember from an interview a while ago.
The very nice town, Oviedo.
A power station ahead. Anybody see it?
The lake in the middle of the hills is quite impressive.
Yeah, I've got eyes on the runway now. Are we landing 03?
I would think
Touch
it
and go
should be
03,
2-1.
yeah.
Touch and go with the wind behind you then. Oh, it's the wind ahead. Let's cross.
I tried talking to the tower, but he's too confused. He's in real trouble.
I'm sure he's got my Baileys ready.
Bailey's is better in cognac.
Now you're talking.
With a ton of ice.
Have you tried Bailey's and Cointreau?
Yes.
That's what I'm not actually I'm on about.
So runway 03 then at El Vedro. What's the wind on the ground like? Let's have a look. 4 knots, 020 degrees. Wind on the ground. So it's windy up here, but not down there.
I assume the steam coming out of these coolers on my scenery is the add-on I've got, is it?
Yes.
I've got the steam coming out as well.
Have you got the Wheeler VFR add-on?
Yeah, I think I must have.
Yeah.
I'm losing track of which add-ons I've got on.
This is easy following along at the back. I can just follow the trail of nav lights in.
There's a couple of guys queue jumping here.
The port over to the left is quite big, isn't it? What's it called again? Akaruna. Yeah. There's a castle on the headland apparently. I think Joe was flying part of this route last night. Was it? Which airfield was it, Joe, that you said was very, very good?
It was the last one, Jonathan.
They've obviously done a special job on it.
Yeah, I think Lima Echo Alpha Sierra.
just been looking up this fixed foveated rendering thing, and yeah, it renders the pixels in the outer area of your vision less and concentrates on the fixed foveal area in the middle of your vision. And so hence the extra frame rates.
So, yeah, because you wouldn't notice to the outside anyway, because your eye doesn't really see that.
That's right. This is quite a detailed airport.
It is, isn't it? I think this might have had special attention as well. It's just not as much to see as some of the others. Okay, so next leg. Actually, I'm going to do a circuit for wait for some of the people behind. So I'm going to turn around.
You mean me?
Yeah, I'm getting well ahead too. I think I'll do a little circuit.
Just looking on the map how many people have got the old versions.
Yeah.
Transmitter.
Yeah, if anyone's wondering about the new version of Transmitter, it tidies up a lot of the connection code. Where you would get pop-ups and things, and they would repeatedly pop up, it won't happen anymore. It also indicates the latest news story from the newsletter at the top of the app, so if we start using that to advertise the events a few days ahead, then you'll have all the information in your email about the next flight. And a link in Transmitter pointing at it.
I saw that. Pretty slick.
Okay. So, next leg, 107 degrees, 42 miles till Rosas. It's probably Rojas, isn't it? I have no idea. Probably get crucified on YouTube once the video goes up to show this.
Yeah, maybe the J is like an H.
Oh, it's R-O-Z, or R-O-Z-A-S.
Rosas.
Guessing runway 34.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, 04, I think you mean. Or are you on your way into...
You're going to the wrong airport, Mark.
We're going to Lima Echo Romeo Oscar. Next.
Right, yeah, 34 was just more against the wind. 04 works too.
Do you know what? I was about to turn autopilot on, but I'm not going to. I'm going to fly along these lakes and beaches and stuff at low level. Go and have a look at them.
The winds are much better with SU-10, aren't they? The aircraft don't look like they're on rails. They just get, little drafts and updrafts, downdrafts. Very clever.
Nearly down at pylon height.
Nice set of pylons just before the last airport.
Just spotted them.
Add them to your collection. I've got to make him that t-shirt, haven't I?
Yeah.
The pylon hunter.
People will wonder what it means that see it.
Pylon collector.
Pylon Tour of Destruction, like a heavy metal t-shirt.
Yeah, lock up your pylons. Dave's around.
My late father-in-law used to have a t-shirt. There was a big brewery in the UK, for those of you elsewhere in the world, called Whitbread. And during the 90s, they bought up a lot of the smaller breweries and shut them down. And he had a t-shirt, like a heavy metal t-shirt, that was the Whitbread Tour of Destruction. And on the back was a list of the dates of each brewery they had bought and shut down.
Nice.
Of course, I can't badmouth them now because my daughter now works for them.
You get free samples, Jonathan?
Well, when I go to pick her up from work, I get a free drink usually.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, the staff see me coming and say, no, he gets this for on the house.
As Jim would say, I'll drink to that.
You can collect a lot more pylons in a DC-6.
You could. I can never get over in this sim just the normal scenery as you're flying along at sort of 1,000 feet. All the houses and roads, and it's brilliant.
We're at 1,000 feet now, and that's fantastic.
I was flying a leg of the Italian tour with the airline earlier on, and I was coming up to some hills and wondered, am I high enough to get over them? And looked over the side of the plane, and I could see, into people's back gardens and cars on the roads, and it was pretty spectacular.
Now that I got my grass monkey working properly, it makes it very realistic. Just sitting here and having a look around. Yeah, it's awesome.
Flew over a toll booth thingy on this motorway. Taking a few treetops there.
Looks like I just flew over a prison of some sort.
Ooh, we just missed the pylon.
quite careful following these river valleys, don't you?
DC6 just flew over me.
You probably felt it go past, didn't you? The rumble.
Sounded beautiful.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what the runway lengths are like later on in the journey. Whether you'll have any problems. You'll be okay for touch and goes. I'm just wondering about the takeoff at the
I don't know. They all look like 3,500 feet at most, except the last one was 7,000.
I have got J2 units added, so
They can use a bit of grass.
Oh, the sky looks gorgeous. So I've got a nice screen at the moment.
What time you got, Joe?
Oh, I don't know.
That looks like scattered cloud.
Yeah, 11:34. Scattered cloud.
Yeah, I've got live weather on. There isn't a cloud in the sky. Oh, there is in the far distance.
Yeah, so if in doubt, add them. It's gorgeous though.
I just checked. I've got live weather on, and mine ain't got a cloud in the sky.
Yeah, Joe's got scattered cloud on.
Oh, right.
About 8 p.m. is real nice.
So yeah, a bit of an update on the airline while we're flying along. I'm not sure what the numbers looked like last time we did the group flight, but we're up to over 360 pilots now.
Wow.
The stats on the hours and the miles flown have just become ridiculous. I'm just looking it up now. So there have been just over 3,000 flights. Total distance 524,000 miles logged. 3,000 hours logged, 368 pilots. And that's in what, 2 weeks now?
I'm actually logging the flight this morning, Jonathan, or this evening.
I thought you were going to say that 2,500 of those hours were yours.
Not quite.
What's that big wheel do on the DC6 up on the dash?
I'm just trying to remember.
It's the compass thingy, isn't it?
Oh yeah, the sprung box in the middle is the binnacle compass.
That looks really cool. Yeah, I haven't even had it. Like I said, I got to pace myself with all the cool planes in here so I can spend a lot of time with each one before I start switching to another one. That looks really sweet. And it's PMDG too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say hello to Jesse.
They
Hello,
do a
Jesse.
Good job.
I'm guessing
Hello, Jesse.
I'm guessing Jim has an audience.
Hello, Jesse.
Hello.
Hey, Jesse.
Hello.
Evening, Jesse.
It's been going on for half hour.
That's enough of that now.
Evening, Jesse.
Everyone's saying hello to you now, Jesse.
Oh dear.
Jesse, what are you drinking?
She's gone. I'm still here though, and I'm drinking Pinot.
Of course.
He's holding his Pinot.
Oh.
Family.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Pinot Grigio, I mean.
It wasn't me.
I didn't mean anything rude.
We haven't got any wine in the fridge. I'll have to correct that when I finish the flight, I think.
We've stopped that since you last was here.
Had a lovely Sauv Blanc from down here last night. It's called the Net. N-E-D. Get your hands on some.
Very good.
Top-rated Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc. Beautiful.
Right, we're getting close to Rosas. Just sorry for interrupting. We're about 10 miles out, so runway 04. Wind at the airport is 010 degrees 9 knots.
Jonathan, if you don't mind, would you speak a little bit about the virtual airline and what it does and benefits and, you know, why join?
Oh, where do we start? So yes, the reason we started a virtual airline then is this is great fun doing group flights, and it always has been, and it's been an unexpected success in a way. And we were just talking about this the other day. The people we get on the group flights are the best group I've ever been a part of to do with the flight sim. Somehow we have attracted all the people that are interested in flying, and none of the people that are interested in just causing mayhem.
You're a smooth talker.
But it's been a huge unexpected success. That said, this is once a week or twice a week when we do a midweek one. What about all the other times? And could we build something for people to go fly on their own time, to give them something to aim at and some goals, and a wider community of people that are just doing that same thing with them? So I had a look around and we found a system called VA Base that have ACARs, and they give you the shell of a website that you can then build upon. And in a previous career, or an earlier stage in my career, I was a web developer. So I went and bought the shell of the system from VA Base and built out our own virtual airline. So it kind of gives you a loose career structure. All it really means is you don't get everything straight off the bat. When you first join, you are classed as a student pilot, and that gives you access to a Cessna, a Robin, or two Cessnas and a Robin to go and log your first couple of hours of flying around, just doing circuits. So within the airline you get events that you can complete, and you get tours that you can go on, and there are also scheduled flights. But as you log hours, it qualifies you for more and more opportunities for things to go and do. So once you get to a couple of hours filed, you get access to all of the GA aeroplanes to go and fly wherever, around the place. And there's various tours for them where you can tick off the legs as you've completed the tours. And then obviously as you log more hours, you get access to the business jets, to the transport planes, and to the big jets. But the whole point of it really is just to give it a little bit of structure and to give you something to do. So, some tips. So we've started putting historic tours in as well. So we've put all the legs in that you can tick off as you do them, for example, of Amelia Earhart's flight. We've also done one for the Toulouse to, I mentioned earlier, Toulouse down to Senegal It was an early postal flight in the 20s, so you can go and fly those legs, and even try to do them in, you know, period appropriate aircraft.
Can you explain the ACARS?
I was just going to say that next. So while you're flying, we've got a little piece of software that runs in the background called ACARS, and it's keeping an eye on your aeroplane. And not only is it tracking where you've been and making sure that you take off and land at the appropriate airfields, it scores your flight on just some basic things about procedural stuff with flying. So it, you know, if you've got the engine on with the beacon light off, it will turn your score down for that. If you land heavily, you'll lose score for that. If you overspeed below 10,000 feet, you'll lose some score for it. So it gives you some things to be mindful of to fly a little bit more correctly. So yeah, so there's all sorts of stuff. If you go to va.virtualflight.online, you'll see there's a getting started guide, there's all sorts of stuff. When you first sign up, you get an email with links to all sorts of resources just to get you up and going quickly. But yeah, the real aim for it was to give people something to do in the times when we're not doing group flights. Because you know, obviously you don't need to be online with anybody to go and fly some legs of a tour somewhere around the world. And we've made lots and lots of tours around different areas of the world. So we've got an African tour, a USA tour, a European tour. There's all sorts of things.
Jonathan, where do you get the time to do all this stuff?
I stayed up until 2 in the morning, many days in a row, to build it all.
Nobody's going to beat my
We appreciate it.
Nobody's going to beat my score for landing.
Oh yeah, there also on the front page it has a table of the smoothest landings of the last week. And how did I know that that was going to attract so much attention? It's ridiculous. The number of people that put so much effort into try and get like 4 feet a minute, which is ridiculous, and would probably destroy the undercarriage on most planes.
I got the best one, 1,000 foot a minute.
Good answer, Jonathan. Thank you very much. I'm going to check it out.
Yes.
Well, redefine the best, David.
Look, guys, it's really awesome. If an old fart like me can do it, I've completed the Italian tour, the Tasmanian tour, and I'm halfway through the West Coast American tour. I tell you what, it's really great. And yeah.
Jonathan, you better start building a lot more tours.
Yes, I know.
Thanks, guys.
But it just, the other thing, it is encouraged, and something else I didn't expect. I think a lot of people just tend to fly around places they know a lot. And this obviously encourages you to go and fly to places you wouldn't have even thought of.
Sure does.
Who has not flown into Lukla yet?
I doubt that I have.
We've got to do it on a group flight, haven't we?
Oh yeah. We've no room to park.
Maybe
It'll be a bit tight.
we could do a bullseye flight, as they call it, where you can all take off from wherever you want, and we all try to arrive at Lukla, or in the airspace above Lukla, at the same time as each other.
Yeah.
And then we can all circle and watch each other's attempts to land.
Yeah, the touch ball thing a bit.
I'll go in there on a helicopter, I think.
Yeah, if people haven't seen Lukla or don't know what it is, it's in the Himalayas. There's no go around. You go in with confidence, and if you get too far into the approach, there's no way out of it.
Isn't that the nearest place to the Himalaya?
Yes.
And the runway is about 1 in 4 incline.
Up.
Yeah, you have to hit the runway at the right speed to be able to roll up it.
And going up.
There is a car park at the top that you can turn your plane onto, but yeah, only very experienced pilots are allowed anywhere near it. So
We did it, Mark.
Yeah, it'd be great fun for a flight night. Maybe we'll do it then in one of the coming weeks for the Sunday night. We'll take off from wherever you want and arrive at Lukla, or overhead Lukla. You'll need a powerful plane because I think it's already at about 12,000 feet. Might even be higher than that.
Yeah, it got to be. Yeah, I think it is about 8 or 9,000.
Right, I'm setting off then for Villa Framil, which is our halfway point tonight, which is 30 miles, 33 degrees.
Wait till you get to the Aerodome Airport. That after this next airport, the LETN, second to end. That one's a little bit hairy.
Good.
I mean, like it's up on a ridge and you can't see it, I guess, unless you're high enough up, and then and it's really short. Also, I was screwing around with it last night to just fix some throttle things, and so, but don't think I have any practice on it.
You were cheating. That's cheating.
You don't do that, Ellis, do you?
Oh no, never.
Something else I should also have said about the virtual airline: we've made a tour in the airline that is all of the group flights we have ever done are available in there to go and redo and tick the legs off if you want to go do that.
Brilliant.
And we're also taking suggestions for further tours. So if you can think of, a string of airports to visit one after another. I mean, a lot of people are coming up with the historic ones because obviously they're the most fun to go and research, or you might have read a book about them or whatever. So one that came up this week that we made into a tour was an air race that happened. They were called the McRobertson Air Races in the 1930s. So we've got the route they went on across Europe, basically, and they look pretty hairy. Or across Europe and Asia, I think. I think they ended up way down in Melbourne. So they start off... Yeah, I think they start off in the UK and fly all the way across Europe, down through Asia, across Australia.
It's much better with the name tags turned off, isn't it? It's brilliant.
It is.
Yeah.
But you've got.
I think the microphones are breaking up, or you have maybe had a connection issue there.
That sounds like bandwidth.
Yeah.
There's another update to the Phoenix A320 which came out today. If anybody's got it.
All right.
Well, thanks for that. I hope that stops me porpoising on landing.
Yeah, I think it's a quick hot fix after that last one. There was a few problems, but yeah, there's a new one in the system now.
I'm just doing the world tour in the 320 and my landings have gone terrible since the summer update.
So who's that in the V-tail waggling their wings?
So I'm just filling in the pilot application form for the VirtualFlight.Online and requested base.
It doesn't really mean anything, just pick anywhere.
Oh, okay.
There was some work I had to do when I set the airline up, was to set up the scheduled flights, and to do that you set up bases. So I think if you wanted to run it very strictly, there's a feature we can switch on which we don't use, where you can only fly from where you've ended up, if that makes sense. You can only pick routes that go from where you've landed.
Yeah, that makes sense, of course.
But you may get into the situation where you can't get home, but somebody else could, based on rank or whatever. So you can do a thing called buying a jump seat. So you can earn pretend money doing your flights, and then you could spend some of that money to buy a jump seat home. So when another aeroplane comes through that direction, they could take you home essentially automatically. But we haven't enabled that functionality.
Okay. No, that's clear.
So it's not.
So is that why it says like virtual location matters eventually, like where your plane is ending?
Yeah, we've turned that off because I thought that was too onerous and it kind of ruins it. It ruins people's freedom to just go and have a fly. It's taking it all a bit too seriously, I think, if we start doing that.
Yeah, at least you've still got the choice of flying where you want to.
I think that's part of the reason. I used to be a member of Fly UK, and they were quite strict on several rules, which I think destroyed their community in many ways. They just went over the line, if that makes sense. Or in my mind, they did.
Like if you flew the wrong airplane, you were penalised and you lost your PERAT.
And if you did if you flew the wrong aeroplane several times, they banned you from the entire airline.
Which is ridiculous, isn't it?
That's just purism, isn't it?
Oh, there's no point to it.
So how are we going to get rid of Dave? That's got me puzzled.
We haven't figured out a way yet.
Maybe if you collect too many pylons, perhaps?
Stronger pylons. He could have an accident, couldn't he?
Tree tops would do. I like taking trees out.
How about walking on the cracks in the pavement?
Well, the V-tail is waving. We're having a close formation competition by the look of it. How do you amuse yourself on a cross-country leg? Fly 20 feet from each other.
This stops the coffee break, eh?
Yes, it is. Yeah, so if you've not done one of these flights with us before, we stop at the next airfield and we'll stop on the ground for 10 minutes, give everyone a chance to go grab a coffee or whatever they want to get. Come for a break.
Ellis will charge you $20 for a coffee.
Yep.
Because he owns all the shops.
I've been buying them at large, Jim.
Oh, I had noticed.
Yeah, so the thing I actually put quite a lot of work into that's invisible on the virtual airline is the scheduled routes. I wrote the software basically to figure out, looking at the airfields and where they are in the world, and the aeroplanes and how fast they are and how much they, how quickly they climb and descend. I made a computer program to loop through all the permutations and to figure out the sensible hours of departure and arrival of what routes were possible, and then made it churn through and spit out thousands and thousands of routes for the schedules.
God, you're clever.
Well, no, it's actually just me saving myself effort.
You're still clever.
But nothing to do with SQL, has it?
No, it was just, well, it kind of has, because, well, no, I cheated. I started out writing it using a database, and I ended up using CSV files for the source data and just running it through a program. Because at the back end of the airline, there's a bulk import tool where you can put your schedules in. So I
That's still a database, mate. That's just flat file database.
Yeah, so I just automated the creation of the schedules to upload in one go. Like this morning, I put in, was it 600 new routes, which were all around the Alps for the likes of the Kodiak and the Caravan and things like that. So you can pretend to be a postman.
I've seen
Sounds
that
like you're
film,
covering.
and
Go ahead.
I've seen that film, and he never flew a plane.
What, the postman?
Yeah.
That was a good film, wasn't it?
Excellent.
Talking about postmen, Jonathan, after I finished the Tasmanian tour, I had a look at Tasmania and I did a little mail run out of Hobart. Every airfield I chose was a dirt runway stuck in the middle of the bush somewhere.
Yeah,
and,
down the eastern coast, it's all dirt, isn't it?
Yeah, it was all dirt. It was very interesting. I thought I'd put it up to you, but I thought, oh no, it might. It wasn't a long hop around, but it was very interesting.
Oh, that's the other thing I forgot to say about the airline. Yeah, as you log the hours, you go up in rank, so you get these pretend epaulets to go on the shirt. So when you look on the roster of pilots who are members, they've all got different epaulets according to their rank that they've earned so far.
Yeah, that's cool, that is. It gives you something to strive for.
To try and beat each other.
No, my wife's complaining she's missing out on her coffee breaks.
The other thing I didn't expect is, well, I didn't even notice, when you look at a tour of like the overview of the tour, there's it shows you who completed the tour first. So some people did notice that, and they had days off work.
I don't go to work anymore, Jonathan, so I just kept going. I just saw the opportunity and grabbed it.
I'll tell you somebody else that's clocking them up, Jonathan. You know him, is Eric.
Oh, yeah.
You know, from Southwest. Well, not here.
Has he been doing them? I didn't even notice.
Yeah, he's done a load. He said Thursday evening how many he's done. Loads.
Oh, my word. Yeah, so we're slowly building out the scheduled flights with regional ones, so like hub and spoke routes from major airports. So we did the ones from in England the other week. Obviously I did the Alps today. And Hugh, that flies with us regularly, asked if I would do some for the 146 from London City. So we did out to lots of the airfields within kind of 300 miles to London City. Sort of commuting routes.
Well, I don't think there's any coffee shops here.
Get your wallet out then.
We'll have to go down the road.
Or maybe there's a van in the car park. There's a beach just down the way, isn't there? Playa de las Catedral.
Yeah, have you seen the coastline? It's spectacular.
Yeah, there's a castle just to the east.
Is this a full stop or
Yeah.
the touch and go?
This is full stop.
It's a self-serve vendor here over by the fuel pump, Jim. We're okay.
Thank you very much.
So, the guy that possibly joined a few minutes ago, I'm just reviewing and approving your application. You are now a pilot.
Yep. Oh, thank you.
So you'll get an email now.
Yep, cool, thanks.
Just to give everybody an idea, right now there are 17 flights in the air for the airline and 8 getting ready on the ground. It's insane.
Of course, they're going all night because they're all around the world.
Yep. So I'm going to watch some of these landings and then loop round and come in myself.
Yep, I'm right here. I got a front row seat at runway. What is this? I can't read the numbers.
08.
Yeah,
08.
I think the other thing that's great about
Unfortunately, there's something wrong with mine. If on my stream, you can just see that I only see the name tags. I don't see any planes. That's a bummer.
Yeah, I've turned the name tags off for that very reason, because they clutter up if there's too many around. I was going to say, one of the other things that's really good about the virtual airline is those that maybe aren't so confident in talking in English to join the the group flights. don't have that barrier with doing the airline flights. Even though the site's in English, they could easily bung it through Google Translate or whatever.
Apologies for sat in the middle of the runway. I've still got this braking problem.
All right, time for a beer.
I'll drink to that. There isn't enough room at this airport for everybody.
Park on the grass.
You haven't got a lot of option.
I've just got this vision now in my mind of the Oshkosh controllers shouting at everybody, "Go long, go long!"
Yeah. Blue spot, blue spot.
Yeah. I'd never seen that until about a month ago, and I was absolutely blown away.
I'm going to keep circling my brakes, so not working again.
Let's start slowing down.
There's really a lot of new names I can see in the sky.
Good evening, everyone. Mic check, please.
Hi, Emmanuel.
Good evening, Emmanuel.
To answer your question, Emmanuel 55.
Joining on the mid-flight today.
That's okay. We just got to the midway point, so...
Yeah, so that.
Yeah, we're just about to go and grab a beer out of the fridge really quickly. Or some of us. Is that the Starsky and Hutch landing style there, Joe?
No, well, I did whip the handbrake on halfway around.
That was nicely done. You even got the wing in between the trees.
Is he an Airbus or Boeing?
No, he's in the DC-6.
Oh,
Yeah, he came past me sideways. It was really nicely done there.
Took him years to learn how to do that.
Right, I'm going to go and grab a beer. I'll be back in a few minutes. Just having a quick look at the map. So we got 34 miles across the hills down to the difficult runway, Aerodromo della Criscada. And then over to Asturias for the end. But both of them have got hills involved. Just checking the wind on the ground at Criscada, it's 0 knots. It's in like a natural bowl, so that obviously protects it from the wind.
Oh, Cowboy just did a buzz and break.
Oh, we've got a CJ4 on the runway.
He's gonna have fun with this next one.
Yeah, I ought to warn him. Let's go and have a look at the runway length. It was short,
It's
wasn't it?
doable. On like maximum speed brakes and max flaps, everything right before you come in, you could do it. I think it's hard to see where it is because even if you look at the topo map, it looks like it's right on the top of a little mountain.
It is. It's on top of a hill, in between two crests.
And there's a tree right in front of it too, so it's hard to kind of see the thing until you're right above it, and you have to come down above it. It's a good runway for fun though, for small planes.
There we go. It's a challenge then.
We'll see. You guys have been on this more. We'll see what you guys think of that runway.
Right, I'm going to open the engine up.
We'll all be practicing for next week, so it's good.
Oh, of course, yes. I haven't even looked to see what your flight is, Emmanuel. What have you done? What's in the book?
It's a surprise.
Oh, okay.
No, the only info we can give, I'm not alone on this one. Fjord Skimmer did a fantastic job in the Pyrenees in creating new, let's call these airfields. It's small, it's bush airfields. So we're just gonna hop from one hill to some valleys and so on. But no need for map. Let's just take some bush plane and it should be okay.
So I'm going to start circling.
We heading out?
No, I'm just going to circle the airfield and wait till everybody gets back.
Guy out there in the 208 taking off and landing on the grass surrounds. He's all over the place. There he goes.
I blame the beer.
Not you, is it, Mark?
No, sir.
Guilty as charged.
Yellow and black caravan that's doing it.
Yes, mate.
You can get away with blue murder in this game, eh?
Aren't you supposed to say, what do you mean game at that point?
Yeah, that's a good point. What do you mean game? This isn't a game.
Pretty serious stuff.
You know, you do anything wrong, and 100 people will see it. Nobody sees
I've
it.
learnt that already. Yeah. You get made to feel quite bad, actually, don't you?
It's like when I had my boat, you could dock it perfectly, nobody be watching. You cock it up and everybody's sitting.
Well, that was like that Clarkson's Farm TV show, wasn't it, when he had to go out ploughing the field. And the guy that was the experienced farmhand said, you know, how dare you do that? Because people know I'm working on this farm, they'll think I did that. They're going to drive down that road, all the people that work on farms nearby, see the mess you've made of that field and think it was me.
Yeah, I remember that.
But yeah, you're right. Mistakes only ever happen when there's an audience. Or should I say the best mistakes happen when there's an audience. You were right, Lee, the coast around here is amazing, the rocks. I'm just looking further down the coast to the west. And there's cliffs that are all 3D modelled properly. I'm going to have to go and have a quick look at them before we set off.
All the rough weather you get in Biscay, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazingly done.
Is that the plural of biscuit?
Yeah. The Bay of Biscuits.
That's near Nice, isn't
it? No, but it's very nice.
Oh dear.
I think I'm going to take off now and just circle around to everybody.
Yeah, if anybody is taking off early, if you want to head down, which side am I? Let's have a look. Yeah, to the
east.
No, I'm off to the west, sorry.
You are.
If you want to go and look at the cliffs down to the west, they're all 3D modelled. It's amazing. Of course, the challenge would be with the bush plane, can you land on one of these outcrops of rock?
I found a nice bridge to fly under.
You'll hear of the accident in a moment.
Hope there's not a pylon in the middle.
Yeah, you suddenly hear him on the radio, I've made a terrible mistake.
Now look what you've done, Jonathan. Everybody's going west.
They are, but it is worth going to have a look at those cliffs. It's pretty stunning, actually.
You could just have a look at my live stream.
Okay, you cannot land on it because it's a 3D model. In fact, you go into it.
It's got a bounding box around it.
I mean, you can land, but you're falling in the middle of the 3D model, like in some stadium.
Still looks impressive.
Oh, I'm seeing the DC-6 coming low across the village.
Yeah, the real ground is approximately 1 meter below the visible surface.
Looks even more spectacular with the sun on it coming back the other way.
I don't know why I'm trying to keep up with the DC-6 in the caravan, because it's not going to happen.
I'm sure there.
No, it's fine, because we need to set off soon. Let's have a look on the ground and see how many people are still there. Oh, okay, there's There's just like an angry swarm of wasps that's just taken off.
See what you mean, Jonathan. Those clips are quite impressive, aren't they? They got no fences on the cliff top to stop the animals falling into the beach.
No, they have huge mattress underneath.
Yeah, it looks like a nice beach down there. I want a little vacation here.
Most of Cornwall's like that. All the hilltops,
Yeah.
cliff, got no fences.
Okay, so I think most people are back in their aeroplanes, so shall we set off towards the next airfield? 114 degrees, 34 miles across the hills. There's a float plane coming past me. Is that a twin otter? I'm going to have to go and say hello to the twin otter now. If I can keep up with him.
At least at the way I'm mapped out, I'm feeling like you need to be at least 3,500 feet, 4,000. Leg safe is like 4,500, but I think you can always get a little bit closer in a sim.
That twin otter looks very cool with the colour scheme on it.
Oh, I wish my game wasn't messed up right now. At least I can look at your stream, because I can only see the name tags. It's just, without the name tags, I see nothing. So I need to keep them on because there's no models flying in my screen. It's a bummer. I don't know what happened. It was earlier, but then halfway through, everybody just disappeared, and it was only name tags.
Hey, maybe just a stupid question, but for the ones playing on Xbox, can you download files from FlightSim.2 or not?
Don't think they can. I'm not sure if you can sideload into the Xbox or not.
For those that just taken off, if you look at the reverse view behind you, the harbour is beautiful.
We got some power line between the hills also here.
Jonathan, just look directly behind you at the harbour.
It's pretty cool, isn't it? Have you got the boats add on?
It looks like Foley, doesn't it? It looks like the Foley and Paul Ruin.
Hmm. I bet if you've got the boats add on, it's probably full of little boats.
It's not. It's very
Yeah,
cool.
it is.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm too high now.
Because the guy that did the We Love VFR stuff has also
Power
done.
lines, yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Mark. I see you sneaking up on me.
There are so many add-ons for Flight Sim that are very good now, aren't there?
I just looked to my right and I can't count how many plates. So,
Yeah, I've got the labels off, so I'm not getting it cluttered up. I'm just seeing all the scenery. If I change the time of day, I would see the nav lights, I guess.
Okay, 17 in that one direction in one screenshot.
Yeah, I'm surrounded by nav lights all the way around me.
At last, we've got him surrounded. Go in for the kill.
I'm going to put the light back up a bit. Where are we? So yeah, it's just basically cross the hills, follow the track, and try to spot the runway. I've not actually tested this route, so yeah, the people that
I
have
added
seen
a user waypoint to myself 5 miles out, 52 at a heading of 52 degrees.
Okay.
Well, actually the opposite of what 52 degrees would be.
Yep.
Plus 180. And that's where I'm headed to, and it looks like I can see everybody on the VFR map through in the game, even though I can't see people, so I got all the planes over there. It looks like there's a bunch of people heading directly to the airport.
Yeah, we'll just turn off. Yeah.
A few people headed to behind me, and I'm going to basically turn right before there and then have 5 miles, and it should be ahead of me based on my autopilot waypoint that I put in there.
Yeah, I think I might circle
Although
the airfield.
in real life, we probably never have that luxury of always having a waypoint in, you know. You need to really know how to navigate.
Easiest way is probably just to circle the airfield and get your bearings and figure out what you're going to do.
Going in 05, 01.
There's no wind on the ground down there.
If you've got labels turned on, you don't need to navigate. Just follow everybody.
But I think the challenge might be is you'll have to find somewhere to approach it from, because there's hills all around it. So, but it's on a hill itself.
And maybe don't follow me. I'm in VR. I have no map, so I just follow the instruction. But
and
yeah.
good night to you.
Oh no, he'll get there, circle, and figure out what the hell he's going to do.
Follow the power line.
Well, I have the luxury of having a little nav map on a second screen.
Well, I've got the GTN 750, which gives me a pretty good view as well. It's got the contour view.
Just spotted all those wind turbines on top of that hill over on the starboard side.
Clang. Or should I say, clang, 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 clang.
Now, if they try to build those in England, there'd be too many people object to them. Ruin the view.
Do they turn the other way around in UK?
I don't think so.
What runway are we going to
do in
use,
Australia?
So what was that, Ellis?
What runway are we going to use?
It's pretty much up to you. There's only 4 knots of wind on the ground, so you could use 5 or 1, really. Any of them, really. I guess we all need to agree so we don't have a head-on flying circus when we get there.
One of them is 1,400 feet, and the other's 2,100. So I'm heading for runway 5, which is I could probably do the shorter one. The longer one's runway 5.
Yeah, runway 5 looks like the easiest approach as well.
It's also a good direction for taking.
But it's still hard to spot from that. That was the side that I was kind of, just because there's like a tree and some houses and there's no lights. But you eventually see it when you're closer, I think. We'll find out.
I made it for 5. So I'm going to take a few more trees out on this hilltop.
Oh, you're going for wood and steel now.
I like flying low.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Scenery is impressive over here. All the details in the hills, it's crazy.
Quite impressive. I just flew over a whole lot of wood. turbines.
Looks like the runway itself is at an elevation of 2233 feet.
Is that runway 5?
It should be all of them actually, but I didn't check them all. Need to check my barometric pressure actually.
Yeah, if you want to get that in advance, the barometric pressure on the ground down there is not. Oh no, it is listed 1020. So it's in millibars, not inches, or hectopascals, I should say.
Looks like a Frenchman.
What's that?
Hector Pascal.
It's actually the name of the guy who found the pressure levels and things. He was named Pascal.
Yeah.
And therefore pascals.
Pascal's law too.
Yep. And Pascal's wager.
And his programming.
You can bet on it.
Sounds like a packet of sweets, though, doesn't it, Pascal?
Pascal, the Pascal programming language was invented by Nicholas Wirth. Hate to ruin that story, but
It was worth it.
It's one of the curses of working in my job is you tend to remember obscure rubbish.
Don't we all?
This looks interesting, this hilltop and all these wind turbines.
These hills are amazing, aren't they?
I'm going to go fly through there.
Isn't it termed useless information or something?
Yes.
Still nice to know, though.
Every year for sorry, go on.
This could be an interesting landing for Challenger and his DC.
It will be. I think it might be a touch and go at quite some speed.
Who knows?
Either that or we'll be picking the bits up to make way for us to land.
I hope ACAS is not checking up on this landing, Jonathan. It's only the last one, isn't it?
Yes. I'm not running ACAS tonight. I'm just enjoying the flight. Otherwise I'll just get crucified for all the things I've probably done wrong.
But Jessie was enjoying the flight as well.
I'll let you know how I get on.
And she says thank you for all those people that said hello to her. She wasn't expecting that.
Brilliant.
She loved it.
It still amazes me when you sit back and think about it with the internet that we are in all sorts of different countries, you know, and we're all coming together for a live event. It's great.
This afternoon I took Jessie on a flight from Calgary to Penticton, a place that she lived in Canada. When we got to Penticton, we then swapped to a small plane and did the area around. Then we swapped into a helicopter so we could find the house where she actually stayed.
Brilliant.
Yeah, look at this road.
She
Look
loved
at this road ahead of me. Jesus.
You know how to treat a girl, Jim, don't you, mate?
Absolutely.
Oh, I see what you mean, yeah. There's an entire hill that's surrounded with roads.
She's an octogenarian. Brought back a lot of happy memories for her.
That's when you realise how good this sim is, when you fly over places that you are familiar with, then you just see how good it really is.
That's what she said. She couldn't believe it.
Like your friend in San Francisco, Jonathan.
Yeah, we need to do that, don't we? Get Charlotte to give us a guided tour of the Bay Area. My cousin, well, she still lives north of San Francisco, up in north of Marin County. But for many years, she ran a produce delivery business, so she knows the entire Bay Area backwards. Right, I'm going to try and get visuals. I can see where other people's lights are going.
Got it.
Might get a bit more height.
I'd like to be in the DC-6.
Hello.
Trying to spot it visually.
Oh, I'm in the middle of the group flight. I'll have to end the group flight here then. Okay. No, she's had a drink. I'll come.
Oh, I'm glad I wasn't doing live weather and pitch dark right now.
Start an argument. I'll just finish this and then I'll come, yeah? Yeah, okay, just a minute. Right, I'm going to have to end at this airfield because my daughter's just finished work and I have to go and pick her up, so I'll land here and then say my goodbyes for the evening.
How was the birthday party last week?
Ah, it's good fun.
My daughter's birthday yesterday. Mate, scary when she's 45.
I can only imagine.
She's beautiful though.
Okay, I've got to lose some speed in a hurry to get the flaps down, so side slip.
Say this is on top of a hill.
Yeah, it is. It's quite cool actually. It's kind of undulating hills all around it. I can see what you mean about the dangerous approach though. There's lots of trees, there's humps around the runway.
And I actually got down on the ground very safely in what I would say would be one of my best landings today.
There's a Cessna right underneath me. I'm kind of waiting for him to accelerate again.
I'd hate to be in the DC-6, so he's in trouble, that boy.
Yeah, what's the stall speed of a DC-6, anybody know?
This is a bit late to look up in the logbook, isn't it? Right, I'll leave this recording.
When I did the handbrake turn at the previous airport, Heinrich had hold of the throttles, not me.
I'll leave this recording while I get ready to go.
Knots.
Oh, that was fun.
Was, wasn't it? watching everybody coming in and landing as I'm coming in the opposite direction.
Well, if anyone thought that was up the side of a mountain, wait till they get to Lucklow.
Well, I think that did rather well considering the aircraft.
What is the next direction, please?
048.
Thank you.
And downhill all the way.
Some nice windmills to slew in and through.
Just flying past them now. Are we going runway 29 or 11?
Just after that that wind park, there's a nice bridge.
I'd say 1-1 for the wind.
Right, I'm going this evening, guys, so I will see you at the next group flight. See you soon. Enjoy the rest of the flight.
Jonathan. Have a good one.
See you soon.
Thanks, Jonathan. Jesse, good night, Jonathan.
Okay.
Night night.
Night night.